They thought we were weak. For 347 years, humanity had been a footnote in the galactic concordat, a sprawling alliance of 216 species, each more ancient, more advanced, and infinitely more certain of their place in the cosmos than we were. We arrived late to the party. Our ships were crude, our technology laughable. Our diplomats stumbled over customs we didn't understand, languages we couldn't pronounce, and hierarchies we couldn't see. The galaxy welcomed us the way a university professor welcomes a struggling student, with polite condescension and low expectations. We didn't mind. Humanity had learned patience the hard way. We had burned our own world twice over before we learned to stop. We had stared into the abyss of nuclear fire, ecological collapse, and ideology, fueled hatred, and somehow, we had chosen to step back from the edge. By the time we reached the stars, we were no longer the species that once was. We were quieter, wiser, humbler, or so they thought. The concordat was built on law, not justice law. There is a difference, and humanity learned it quickly. The concordat's legal assembly was a labyrinth of contracts, treaties, precedents, and loopholes older than human civilization itself. Species rose and fell not by the strength of their fleets, but by the cunning of their lawyers. Wars were illegal. Expansion was regulated. Disputes were settled in chambers of cold marble and colder logic. Humanity adapted. We studied. We participated. We filed our grievances through proper channels and waited for rulings that took decades. When the Vrelac Consortium annexed one of our mining outposts under an obscure subsection of Territorial Claim Doctrine 48.7.2, we protested. We submitted evidence. We followed procedure. The ruling came back legal. When the Kethran Empire imposed tariffs on human agricultural exports that nearly crippled our outer colonies, we appealed. We negotiated. We compromised. The ruling came back within acceptable parameters. Century after century, humanity bent. We absorbed insults, accepted losses, and played the long game. The galaxy saw us as harmless, reliable, predictable. We were the species that always followed the rules, even when the rules were designed to keep us small. But patience is not weakness. It is strategy. The massacre of New Havens changed everything. New Havens was a modest colony. 43 million souls, scattered across 3 continents of a terraformed world in the outer fringe. It was home to farmers, engineers, teachers, artists, families, children. It was unremarkable in every way, except one: it was ours. The Zakros Dominion claimed the system under an ancient stellar survey conducted 8,000 years before humanity even existed. They presented the claim to the Concordat legal assembly with full historical documentation, orbital maps, and genetic markers proving their ancestors had once seeded microbial life on New Haven's moons. Humanity's legal team fought for 6 years. The ruling came back legal. Humanity was given 90 days to evacuate. We asked for more time. 43 million people could not be moved in 90 days. Our transports were already stretched thin. We requested an extension, just 6 more months. The Zakros Dominion refused. On the 91st day, their fleet arrived. There was no warning. No final negotiation. No mercy. Orbital bombardment began at 06C Odrid Concordat Standard Time. Kinetic strikes rained down on population centers with surgical precision. Cities evaporated in columns of fire. Atmosphere ignited. Oceans boiled. By 80 New Havens was a tomb. 43,872,409 human beings died that day. The Zakros Dominion released a statement. Regrettable, but legal. The occupants were given proper notice. Failure to comply with lawful evacuation orders constitutes trespass. The Dominion exercised its legal right to reclaim sovereign territory. The Concordat said nothing. Humanity did not weep in public. We did not scream in the legal assembly or beg for justice we knew would never come. Our diplomats stood in those cold marble halls, faces carved from stone, and delivered a single statement. We withdraw from active participation in Concordat affairs, effective immediately. Humanity will honor all existing treaties, but we will no longer pursue new agreements or legal remedies through Concordat channels. We thank the Assembly for its time. That was all. The galaxy barely noticed. A few species murmured about overreaction. Most shrugged. Humans were always so emotional. They'd get over it. They always did. But in the silence that followed, something stirred. Across human space, across 1,000 worlds, and 10,000 stations, a signal went out. Not through official channels. Not through governments or corporations. It traveled through networks older than the Concordat. Codes embedded in frequencies the galaxy had long since forgotten. Warehouses unlocked. Vaults opened. Fleets that had been mothballed for centuries began to hum with life. Humanity had not forgotten how to fight. We had simply chosen not to. That choice was over. They thought we had forgotten. 3 centuries is a long time to pretend. Long enough for the galaxy to believe the lie. Long enough for them to forget what humanity had been before the Concordat, before the treaties, before the diplomacy, before we learned to smile and nod while they carved up our future. They forgot that humanity had clawed its way out of caves with nothing but sharpened stones and spite. They forgot that we had split the atom, not to power cities, but to incinerate them. They forgot that we had stared into the void of mutually assured destruction and kept building weapons anyway. Because survival was never guaranteed. It was earned. The galaxy thought our warships were exploration vessels with token defenses. They thought our military academies were historical curiosities, teaching strategies from a barbaric past we'd outgrown. They thought our silence was surrender. They were wrong. The first sign came 6 weeks after New Havens. A Zakros listening post on the edge of their territory went dark. No distress signal. No debris field. One moment it was transmitting routine telemetry. The next, nothing. The Dominion sent a patrol frigate to investigate. The frigate never reported back. 2 days later, a Zakros supply convoy vanished between jump points. 16 ships. Gone. No wreckage. No survivors. Just empty space where a fleet had been. The Dominion filed a complaint with the Concordat, accusing human pirates of illegal military action. Humanity's ambassador, a new one, younger, colder, delivered a response in the legal assembly. We are unaware of any human military operations in Zakros space. Perhaps your ships encountered navigational errors. Space is vast. Accidents happen. The words were polite. The smile was not. The Zakros Dominion mobilized 3 battle groups, over 200 warships, and sent them to the border of human space as a show of force. It was meant to intimidate, to remind humanity of its place. The battle groups never reached the border. They were ambushed in deep space, far from any registered human military presence. Ships appeared from nowhere, sleek, angular vessels that didn't match any known human design. They moved like predators, like they'd been born in the dark between stars. Their weapons didn't follow Concordat regulations. No plasma cannons, no fusion torpedoes, no elegant energy shields. They used kinetics, tungsten rods accelerated to relativistic speeds. Rail, gun slugs that punched through shields like they weren't there. Missiles that didn't explode, they shredded, releasing clouds of projectiles that turned holes into Swiss cheese. It was brutal, primitive, effective. The Zakros lost 147 ships in 18 minutes. 17 escaped. The survivors told stories of human vessels that didn't hail, didn't negotiate, didn't offer surrender. They just attacked. Methodically. Relentlessly. Like they'd done this 1,000 times before. Because they had. Not against aliens. Against each other. The Concordat held an emergency session. 24 species demanded humanity explain itself. The evidence was circumstantial, but damning human ships, human tactics, human aggression. This was a clear violation of Concordat law. War between member species was illegal. Humanity's ambassador stood before the assembly. She was calm, patient. She let the accusations hang in the air like smoke before she spoke. The Concordat defines war as coordinated military action by a recognized state authority against another sovereign entity. Humanity has declared no war. Our government has authorized no military operations. If independent human citizens, acting outside governmental control, have chosen to pursue private grievances against the Zakros Dominion, that is a matter of individual legal accountability, not state action. She paused, letting the words sink in. Of course, if the Concordat wishes to investigate, we will cooperate fully. We ask only that the same legal standards applied to the New Havens massacre be applied here. After all, the Dominion's actions were ruled legal. Surely, what is legal for one species is legal for all. The chamber erupted. Species shouted over each other. The Zakros representative demanded justice. The Vrelak Consortium called for sanctions. The Kethran Empire, sensing opportunity, proposed a joint peacekeeping force. Humanity's ambassador waited until the noise died down. Then she smiled, thin, sharp, and utterly without warmth. We have always followed the law. Every single time. Now you will learn what that truly means. She left the chamber without another word. The attacks didn't stop. They escalated. Zakros trade routes became killing fields. Their outer colonies woke to find orbital defense platforms disabled. Their fleets crippled at dock. Human ships, if they were even human anymore, no one could prove it, struck with terrifying precision. They knew patrol schedules, supply lines, command codes. They fought like they'd been planning this for centuries. Because they had. The Vrelak Consortium tried to intervene, sending a diplomatic envoy to negotiate a ceasefire. The envoy's ship was intercepted by a human fleet. Not attacked. Just stopped. Boarded. The diplomats were escorted to a briefing room where a human officer played a single recording. It was audio from New Havens. The last transmission before the bombardment. Children screaming. Parents begging. Teachers singing lullabies as the world burned. The officer let it play in full. 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Then he looked at the Vrelak diplomat and spoke quietly. You want us to stop. Bring us the Zakros leadership. All of them. Alive. Let them stand trial under human law. Let them face the families of the 43 million. Let them beg for mercy they will not receive. If you cannot do that, then stay out of our way. The envoy returned to the Concordat and recommended immediate non-intervention. Fear spread faster than rumors. Species that had once mocked humanity now locked their borders. The Kethran Empire quietly rescinded their tariffs. The Vrelak Consortium issued a formal apology for the mining outpost seizure, an apology that had taken 200 years to arrive. Humanity accepted neither apologies nor negotiations. We were done talking.